We have a very special guest in our studio today, an individual who took part in the World Gymnastic Competition in 2017. Of course, she was the first individual who represented Sri Lanka at a Commonwealth competition, where she represented Sri Lanka at the Commonwealth Games held in Gold Coast 2018. And of course, recently she won the Zurich Cup 2020, where the first ever rhythmic gymnastic competition staged in Switzerland, where she emerged victorious among 300 athletes from 18 countries. We have none other than Anna Marie Ontaje on our show today. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation, Anna Marie, and featuring on our show today.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Now, Anna Marie, you started the sport at the age of 9, and previously when I spoke to you, you said your father was the one who put you to the sport. As an individual, your father being a Sri Lankan, so too your mother being a Sri Lankan, and this particular sport being less familiar with the Sri Lankans, why do you think that your father basically asked you to take part in this particular sport and make it as one of your careers?
Well, I initially started in ballet. My parents put me in ballet, and from there, I think they saw that I was quite elegant and I really loved dancing. And so actually Rhythmic Gymnastics' parent introduced Rhythmic Gymnastics to my father, and it was this sport was also a surprise for him. We never knew such a beautiful sport existed. And he found a club in Canada, and immediately when I took my first class, I fell in love with it.
When I spoke to you earlier, you said you train 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. That's about almost 50% of a man's productive hours. And apart from that, you'll have to do your homeschooling as well. How do you manage your schedules?
Yeah, so I was originally I was attending formal high school, but then I decided that it was really hard for me to pursue all my rhythmic gymnastics goals. So I decided to switch to homeschooling, which really helped me with my time management and helped me to achieve all my goals in both academics and in sport.
When you talk about rhythmic gymnastics in Sri Lanka, there's no facilities available in Sri Lanka, and not many people, or we do not see anyone pursuing rhythmic gymnastics as one of the sports that they love, especially this being a girls' sport. Now, being from a Sri Lankan origin, and for the love of the game, I know that you would like to give something back to the game that has given a lot of things to you. If you have been provided with the opportunity to help Sri Lankans and help develop this particular sport in Sri Lanka, and if you have been provided with the opportunity, would you take it up in Sri Lanka to promote the sport, and in what capacity?
Yes, so I would definitely like to share my passion and bring rhythmic gymnastics to Sri Lanka to create more opportunities for the young talent. And I'm really looking forward to, in the future, maybe 6-7 years down the road, to open up a school and work with the team to build rhythmic gymnastics in Sri Lanka.
And of course, you do have the qualification of being a rhythmic gymnastic as well.
Yes, I've gotten my coaching certification, so I'm a fully certified coach. So I think this will really benefit me to pass on some experience.
Excellent. Now, there are 2 types of gymnastics in the world. One is called rhythmic gymnastics, which is particularly being done or performed or engaged in by women fully. And the next part is the artistic gymnastics. Talk us through the difference of these 2.
Yes, so artistic and rhythmic are quite different. Rhythmic gymnastics is currently an all-female sport, and artistic gymnastics is both female and male. I believe that rhythmic gymnastics is more along ballet, dance, working with apparatus, rhythm, and artistic gymnastics is much more agility. And we definitely have different apparatuses. Rhythmic gymnastics is with hoop, ball, clubs, ribbon, and rope. And all of this is done in a routine, in group or individual, with music.
Great. Now, assume that somebody is watching this program and would want to engage their children to this particular sport, or a young girl who is watching this sport would want to get into rhythmic gymnastics by looking at the way how you performed. What type of knowledge should someone have in order for them to engage in this particular sport, and what type of skill levels one should possess in order to get into the sports? Anna Marie.
So I definitely believe with all sports, natural physical capabilities is useful to get a head start in sport, but I also believe that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I truly believe this because I've witnessed it in my own experience that I wasn't the most naturally capable young gymnast, and I had to work quite hard to gain my flexibility, strength, and coordination. So I believe anything is possible no matter where you're starting.
Now, in life or in sports, when you engage in international level sports, everything comes at a cost. And of course, you take part in about 5 to 6 international level competitions where the high level athletes in the rhythmic gymnastic field take part in about 15 to 20 competitions a year. Now, I know for a fact that you're self-funded. Your parents are the one who are funding in terms of you traveling to Russia or Switzerland or Canada or India in that case to take part in competitions. And of course, I know for a fact it cost around 60,000 Canadian dollars for you to basically engage in these sports. Is it going to be the same scenario if an individual who is going to start in Sri Lanka, if one would want to start in Sri Lanka, do they have to spend this much of money, Anna Marie?
Definitely not. Taking sports to a professional level is always going to cost a lot, but if you are, I do strongly always recommend to stay in sports, but it does not have to be at a professional level. And I think that it's really, rhythmic gymnastics can be done recreationally and just to build good posture, to elegance, strength, flexibility, self-confidence. So I think that you do not need too much to participate in sports, especially rhythmic gymnastics.
There you go. It doesn't cost much for the Sri Lankans to engage in the rhythmic gymnastics sport. And of course, Anna Marie, after the conclusion of a career in rhythmic gymnastics, would open up a school in Sri Lanka, which would benefit many people who would like to pursue this girl-only sport, rhythmic gymnastics, in future. Now, as we move forward, Anna Marie, I want to kind of run through some of the important events that took place in your career in the rhythmic gymnastics. So I would like you to recall those memories. First of all, the first day you went for a training for rhythmic gymnastics.
The first day I went for training, I was definitely a little bit shy. I was just shy as a child in general, so I think walking into a rhythmic gymnastics school was a little bit scary for me, but once I started getting into the rhythm of the training, I really loved it and felt like this is my passion, and I was excited to go to the next training.
Excellent. When you won the bronze medal at the Pacific Rim Gymnastics competitions in Canada in 2014, 6 years back.
Yeah, so we got the bronze medal at Pacific Rim Championships, and I was so happy with that result. Me and my team, we worked really hard, and it's a moment that I will never forget.
Being ranked as the first at the national selections for Canada, how did you feel at that moment?
I was really proud for my family and I, because we worked really hard for 9 years to get to such an achievement, and becoming first in all of Canada for the group rhythmic gymnastics selection was a great achievement. So I was really proud with that result.
And of course, in 2018 at the Commonwealth Games, which was held in Gold Coast, you met His Royal Highness Prince Charles. Talk us through what happened. What conversation did you have with him at that time?
Yeah, we had a really nice conversation. We met at the Athletes Village in Gold Coast, Australia at the Commonwealth Games. And he asked me which sport I'm partaking in, and I said rhythmic gymnastics. And he asked me which country I was representing, and when I said Sri Lanka, he was talking about he would love to visit Sri Lanka. And so I was really happy speaking with him. It was nice.
Wonderful memories, isn't it?
Yeah, really great.
All right. When you talk about sports, any sports, let it be athletics, the ultimate silver bear is the Olympics. Now, of course, for Anna Marie to take part in the Olympics, the deadline was January 15th, but do have a second option of getting a ticket to the Olympics 2020 in Tokyo through the wild card. Talk us through how would this work out, Anna Marie?
Yes, so there is the wild card invitation where National Olympic Committee of Sri Lanka can submit a request for rhythmic gymnastics. The deadline has passed, so I'm just waiting on updates. But there is also an option in May through Asian Championships where I can become first and get Sri Lanka the ticket in rhythmic gymnastics for Olympic Games. Last Asian Championships, I came sixth, so I'm working really hard with my coach and trying our best to improve this ranking and get Sri Lanka their ticket for Olympic Games.
I know that the National Olympic Committee is being following you closely in terms of your performances and everything, and I believe that they are supporting really well in terms of Anna Marie to clinch a medal at international level, and of course we hope that they will be able to provide the support also for her to get into the Olympics through the wildcard rounds in future. Moving on from that question now, Anna Marie, we are not talking about something small. You're competing at international level on a sport which is less familiar in Sri Lankan context. How do you handle pressure?
Yeah, I mainly try to trust myself and my trainings, because in the end, when the competition comes, you can only trust that you have worked hard and trust your trainings and your coach and go out there and do your very best. I think with my family's support and everyone's Sri Lanka's support, I've really been able to overcome any mental challenges and understand that I'm representing not only myself but my country and all of my family's hard work.
Now, in terms of Anna Marie, now the point that I wanted to discuss is that whenever you go for international competitions and a judge from the country that you're from is requested to be a part of the judge panel. But now that in Sri Lanka, rhythmic gymnastics is not a very popular sport and not being pursued by many people, and with no people taking up the coaching for a coaching job, you do not have anybody representing you to at least support you. Despite that, you have overcome so many challenges and you have won medals for Sri Lanka. How were you able to do all of this, Anna Marie?
It is quite tough, as rhythmic gymnastics is a judge sport, so it definitely is an advantage as to have a judge on the panel for you, as every other country does have a judge, so it does benefit. Unfortunately, as rhythmic gymnastics is very new for Sri Lanka, we do not have a judges yet, but nonetheless I still was able to get some medals, and hopefully in the future development of rhythmic gymnastics we can look into a team to develop some judges.
Wonderful. Now, most of the people are unaware of the fact that apart from Anna Marie being an athlete and rhythmic gymnast, she has a registered brand in Sri Lanka that she is in the process of promoting and would want to pursue during a post-athletics career. Talk us a little bit about your brand.
Yes, so I'm starting my own personal brand and also a charity foundation. My own personal brand, I'm looking into working with a team to create some product items to hopefully turn into a good line.
And of course, based on what you told me, it would include sportswear, cosmetics, and obviously beverages, mainly water, I would say.
Yes, we're looking into many products and hopefully that we can develop this in the years to come.
And another part, apart from establishing a brand during a post-athletics career, one thing that she wants to pursue between the time is to get into the Miss Universe, which will be a proud moment for Sri Lanka because she is from a background where her auntie, Martin Sathiyanesan, she was a runner-up in the 1955 Miss Universe competition. We would like to know about it, more about your aspirations on Miss Universe.
Yes, after my rhythmic gymnastics career has been completed, I definitely in the years to come, I'd like to run for Miss Sri Lanka and Miss Universe Sri Lanka. I think I get a lot of this motivation and influence from my great aunt Maureen Hingert, and I hopefully can follow in her footsteps and work hard toward this. Yeah.
There you go, some real examples set by a 20-year-old girl who is a gymnast, a rhythmic gymnast, a sport. She took it as a challenge, and she has gone to the international level at this point of time, and she is in the process of getting herself qualified for the Olympics in 2020. And of course, she's just 20 years of age, and another 4 years' time she could compete in the Olympics one more time as well. In addition to that, she is establishing a brand and a lot of charity work that she has carried out. And of course, dreaming of becoming a Miss Universe, which will be a very proud moment for Sri Lanka. Thank you very much, Anna Marie, for all these insights. We are not done with the interview. We would like to know you indirectly by asking you questions. We have prepared several questions for you, Anna Marie, to know for the viewers to know you indirectly, what type of a person you are. We would expect you to provide us with some short answers for all of these questions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The first question is an athlete you are idealizing while you're growing up.
Evgenia Kaneva from Russia. She's two-time Olympic gold medalist.
If you did not become an athlete, what would you have become?
I definitely would be involved in sport, I believe. Maybe not rhythmic gymnastics, but definitely sports.
Favorite Sri Lankan food?
Kiribati.
With what?
Coconut sambal.
Right. Was there any sport that you want to be a part of other than gymnastics?
I did touch on running when I was younger, but rhythmic gymnastics was definitely my passion.
Most memorable sporting moment in life up to now?
Probably my first World Championships in 2017 and Commonwealth Games 2018.
Sacrificing fitness for an indulgent meal, mostly, sometimes, or never?
Never.
If you ever got the opportunity to change a moment in your life, what would that be?
I don't have any regrets in my life, just learning lessons.
An aspect of athletics life that you dislike?
There's nothing.
Favorite sibling?
I can't choose, I love them all.
Favorite cricketer?
Kumar Sangakkara for his leadership abilities and teamwork.
A person you would love to meet one day?
There's too many people, I can't decide.
Favorite actor?
Nina Dobrev.
If you ever want someone to play your character in a movie, who would you choose?
Probably one of my siblings.
If you could pick one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
If I was not in sports, it would be chocolate.
If you had the chance of choosing a year to be born, what year that would be?
I really like 2000, year 2000.
Favorite movie?
I can't decide on which movie.
A song that is going through your mind now?
I like all genres of music, so I can't decide.
Favorite holiday destination in Sri Lanka?
Anywhere where there's the beach.
Interesting responses from Anna Marie Ontaje today on our show. It was indeed a pleasure having her, an insightful interview on her Olympic aspirations and of course her brandings and her aspirations about promoting rhythmic gymnastics in Sri Lanka. And of course you got to know Anna Marie as a person as well. Thank you very much, Anna Marie Ontaje, for accepting our invitation and featuring on our show today. It was indeed a pleasure, and we hope and pray that you will get a ticket to take part in the Olympics in Tokyo 2020 and receive more success in future as you move forward in this career. And we wish you all the best from Newsfirst and all of the people in Sri Lanka watching you. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation one more time and featuring in our show today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.